So I guess since about 2012, and then once Coinbase hit the scene, then I started buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Just $5 at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Not a major investor.
Well, what are some tokens you're bullish on?
Oh, I still like all the same tokens that I've been bullish on for a while. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Polygon, Mana, of course. Um, and then one coin that never gets its due, but Digibyte. I've always been a big fan of Digibyte. I wouldn't say I'm bullish on it, but I'm just a fan of that coin.
Nice, nice. Um, so so then you had mentioned that you kind of went on to Decentraland once it was available to go live. Would that be like 2020 range, like time range?
I think, yeah, around there, but my computer at that time, I couldn't go anywhere. All I would see is green force fields.
Hmm.
And
So,
so I kind of just gave up on it. And then it was about a year later, during the pandemic. So it was probably around February of 2021, when I started actually coming into Decentraland and being able to actually move around and meet people.
okay, okay, sweet. I like probably came through about 6 months later myself. So then when you let's say let's actually this might be a two-part question. Um, back when you first logged into Decentraland for the first time, what did you kind of like feel like what really stood out to you back then as like for the platform as a whole? And also what stands out to you now as a platform?
Well, I didn't know what was going on, so I was like, "Oh, if I search Decentraland and look in every tree, maybe there's some mana in trees, or maybe you can open up some of these, on some people's parcels. Sometimes there's like a treasure chest or something. It's like, oh, maybe if you open up these treasure chests and look in trees, there'll be some mana." But of course, that didn't happen. And then I just was intrigued about exploring and seeing what was out there, what was already built. There were some really incredible things in the what's that district? The Ethereum district, where
Ethereum, yep.
there was these really cool cityscapes that you could go into, and buildings and dirty alleyways, and I don't know, they might still be there, but I just thought it was really cool. And then the stuff that Zeta was doing was pretty awesome, and then pretty quick, started enjoying some DJ sets, and was a little annoyed that all the DJ sets were EDM, and then all of a sudden Stony hit the scene, and then I felt right at home.
Big shout out to Zeta and also big shout out to Stony. So I'm reading right here in the Twitch comments. I'm seeing that Kanessa says they did give away mana in treasure chests on launch day.
Oh well, I missed that.
Dang it, right? I've heard stories from like OGs where they're like, oh yeah, I mean like one time I just submitted like a generic build and got like millions of mana for it. And I'm just
Oh
like,
wow.
ah, what did you do with it?
Uh, so pretty early on, since I had a bunch of mana that I bought in 2017, I bought a one by one, and I got some. Well, at that time there was only level one wearables, and I got a set of level one wearables. I got the rave set. The smiley face. It's a tank top with a it's a purple tank top with a yellow smiley face on it, and some 3D glasses, and then some pretty generic shoes and shorts. But the whole thing together is kind of fun, and it was like my first big purchase into Decentraland, using this mana I've just had stored away for years. And then about that time, I decided that cryptocurrency, instead of stacking it and trying to invest and trying to time the market, you know, buy low, sell high, all that was too difficult. So I just started I decided to start just spending. So I just started spending my cryptocurrencies and just enjoying spending cryptocurrencies.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you keep it within like a cryptocurrency ecosystem, minus the the monetary value of it. Like, let's say you buy something at 10 mana and then you sell it at 15 mana. That is a 5 mana profit, you know?
Right, right, right.
So, okay, so early on, or let's even say, like, once you came back to Decentraland, you had no more green walls. Who were some of, like, the first individuals that you met?
Oh man, I think Judas. Um, let's see. I used to hang out with Pepe Prawn. Now I think he's Spicy Prawn.
Oh, wait, what? Wait. You're telling me that Spicy Prawn's old name was Pepe Prawn?
Pepe Prawn, yeah.
Dude, I'm writing
I-
that down and I'm gonna call him that. Like next time I see him. and, he, and
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm gonna tell him he better mint that. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Please continue.
Shoot. A lot of old names. Bad Photographer. Remember being a part of it. 100 Rainbows, of course. And then UMAC and Endo were
You
lots of fun. I Am Bob, and then going to DJ sets with Category 5.
Cat 5 until you had mentioned Mr. Stony Eye came through.
Yeah, yeah. One day I was just hanging out in Wondermine, I guess, and then Stony Eye came around, and I said, "Hey, cool name." And then he mentioned something about my name too, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Roots because I really like reggae music, and I wear this checkered hat because of Two Tone Records." And the checkered hat came from R&J, I believe, my bucket hat. And so we just started talking reggae. And at that time, Wondermine had channels, had music channels. So you could go through, I forget what it was, maybe 6 different channels at Wondermine and listen to music. And if you were on the same channel as someone else, you heard the same music. But if you didn't have to turn the radio on, and you could be listening to, 6 different genres. And Stoney and I were always listening to the reggae channel, and it was actually a really good reggae channel. They played a lot of classic roots reggae, and so we'd enjoy that together.
You just blew my mind. There used to be music channels. What? I have over here Dr. Green Thumb in DCL chat saying, "Oh yeah, I forgot about the music."
Oh,
What?
it was great. You could go into Wondermine and turn on one of 6 or 7 channels, and just listen to that music, and it was great. And
we
I used it as my kind of morning meditation. I listened to old reggae music and I mined minds, and I did my 15 minutes and got out of there unless I started a conversation with somebody.
Yep. So like I like how you mentioned that you met Stony Eye at Wonder Mines, because I also met Stony Eye at Wonder Mines. A little later, probably like in October, November of 21. I stumbled across the legend himself.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, I'm about to do a music set because I'm a DJ." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And he's like, "So I'm gonna go over to the Parcel Party," and at that time it was way down at the bottom of the map, and it was just one little square, and they hadn't. I don't think they had done anything there yet. And he was like, "We're gonna check out this parcel and do a sound check and just see if everything works." And so I went over there, and then I listened to him play reggae music for about 20 minutes, saw that everything was working, and then the next day, Parcel Party started. And I, if I believe, I could be wrong, but I think Stony was either the first or one of the very first to be in Parcel Party. Um, and then we just started doing. I forget what day it was. It wasn't Mondays. It was a different day that we listened to reggae music.
I do remember there was Wednesday events that
Yeah,
Stony hosted at Parcel Party for like a long time, even like a long, quite a while before even like I found out about them. So I think that might be the event we're thinking about. Yes, Wednesday at 4:20
right.
p.m. That's what it connects with. Yep.
Right. So, anyways, I see Stony's in the chat, so shout out to Stony. Without Stony, I don't know if I would have stayed in Decentraland too long because it seems like everybody just loved EDM, and I could like it for a little while, but it wasn't really my thing. And
Mm-hmm.
if everything was a DJ party, I wanted it to be at least music that I liked, some punk rock, some
Mm-hmm.
rockabilly, or some reggae.
And
And all of a sudden we got this reggae going, and from a fantastic DJ. Oh, that's the other thing. He had just produced a song called "Let It Grow," and it was with uh, Marlon Asher, and then Marlon Asher's did a collaboration with this band from Hawaii called Natural Vibrations, and Natural Vibrations is a band that I loved, and my brother-in-law actually did sound for them. So whenever they had concerts, he would be their sound guy. When my nephew graduated from high school, Natural Vibrations put on a concert right at my house. So they were in our backyard, and then all of a sudden, here's this producer from Long Beach that not only knows my favorite band, but worked on a song with them, and then so that kind of solidified our friendship, I think.
damn, that's crazy. All happening in the metaverse.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm so happy that you kind of like, you're mentioning that, you know, th- uh, someone could do EDM for so long, but it's not my type of music. Like, I can't stress enough how much I like could go through like just different spaces, try to talk to different musicians from different genres, and trying to like kind of like show them that like the Decentraland is kind of like a platform that they could use to create to community build as well as share their work. And so the other night I ended up in like a hip hop Twitter space, and I went up to speak, and first thing that came out of my mouth was like, you know what? I just realized there aren't any hip hop dedicated music venues in
right.
Decentraland. Like, just throwing that idea out for anyone, just like if anyone in the room wanted to jump on that, I really hope they will. I believe Lil Bitcoin was on that space, and he seemed pretty interested and pretty happy about that.
Well, I don't know if we need a dedicated space for one genre of music, but like what True Bandroom is doing is great. They just
Hmm.
have all kinds of performers there all the time. Like, putting on what 10 or 15 shows a week in the True Bandroom, and you could get anything from uh, you know, reggae, hip hop, soul, uh, EDM, uh, alternative. You know,
Hmm.
like college radio type stuff, and some new agey stuff.
Totally. And also
Just about whatever you want.
we need these venues for like different hours too. Like we need to have them operating with I guess with that side of the world's talent. uh
Yeah, right, exactly.
Man.
So that at any time, you could just go to somewhere in Decentraland and someone is playing live. I think that'd be awesome.
Yep. Like or like even like for individuals like, okay, I was gonna say us, but you're like probably like, what time is it over there for you?
It's 4:30.
It's 4:30, so you're six
Very late.
hours.
Very
You're
late.
Yeah,
4:30.
you're like you're 6 hours behind me. So like, but like for myself, let's say like staying up through the middle of the night, I kind of like run into kind of like Asian time zones as well as like early European. So like, can you imagine just having like being able to go to a show at that time, and then there is like, you know, a musician, a creator from that time zone performing.
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, and I think True Band Room is kind of doing it, and they're doing it the best. But like if you could have affiliate studios around the world, 5 or 6 of them in 5 or 6 very different time zones, and then each studio has 3 or 4 hours to play some live music from their section of the world, and then you just have it running 24/7.
Hmm.
I love live music, and that's what's kept me more than the games, more than wearables, and more than uh, silly architecture or different things.
Hmm.
What keeps me in Decentraland is live music.
Yep. Live music, being able to interact with the artist that is currently like on the screen performing
Right,
for you, like it doesn't get any better than that, to tell you the
right.
truth. Uh,
Yeah, having this interaction with the artist and then also with the fans. You're
mhm.
dancing together. You're not bothering each other because you can you can find a place to see the band. You're dancing around. You're having a good time. You're sharing this experience. It's just to me, it's a good time.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So,
And I've been to huge shows with artists that I love, and you might as well be listening to their CD because they don't acknowledge the crowd at all. You know, they're in Cleveland that night, and the next night they're going to be in Santa Fe, and um, and they pretty much play their latest album track by track, and then they go home. And I'm not even sure, sometimes they don't even say, hey, it's great to be here in Cleveland, and instead they're just there playing their songs, and I get a little bit annoyed at that. And you never find that in Decentraland, as long as it's live. They're always talking with the audience, and they're saying new things and playing new songs,
oh my
and
God.
even if it's a repeat, they're in the room talking with you and say, "Hey, I'm glad you're here."
Yes, yes. By any chance, did you happen to catch Losi's show earlier at True?
Was he wearing the yellow beanie? Is that the one?
That may have been Cowboy Tom. Losi performed before Stony at True today.
Oh, I missed it. No.
Losi has been kind of like a Web3, is a Web3 artist that Shelly and I kind of interviewed for Music Matrix, and she had her first performance at True Band Room, or on a metaverse in general, for the first time ever. And oh man, I don't know, it brought me back to kind of like the experience of like even an early artist coming to Decentraland and performing, kind of like giving you the time, like sitting down and in between songs, talking about the songs, and like interacting with the crowd, answering questions, and then like saying, okay, well, I'm gonna play this next song. This next song is about this and that, and we'll chat after this one.
Mhm.
It
Yeah, yeah. I've seen like the musical doc doing that sometimes, and even
Yes.
Hurricane Ike will chat between songs, and
Mhm.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh my God, yes. And as their crowd begins to get bigger and bigger, it's gonna mean more and more to, the newer fans coming in. Like, uh,
I know. Can you imagine Stoney's next show when he's got more people in there? His whole show is just gonna be shout outs. A little bit of reggae music in the background.
oh man. Oh, he'll have to like start producing the shout outs with a beat. I know the man can do that. You have you been to those Mo Beats
Oh yeah,
sessions?
yeah, yeah.
He
Actually, he did a Mobeat for me. I sent him some lyrics
Yes.
once, and he's like, "Well, what's the melody for this?" It's like, "Man, I don't know how to tell you a melody. I don't know anything about you know actual music. I can write some lyrics and I can sing some things, but I don't know what key it is. I don't know anything." And he's like, "Okay, well, I don't know if I can really use this until but I'd like to use it sometime." And then he started this Mobeats And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna send him what I think it sounds like with my voice. And so I went into the bathroom and just sang the lyrics out in one take, and then I sent it to him. And he's like, "We're using this tomorrow for Mobeats." So he produced my song, 3 Gallon Pot.
3 gallon pot. Let's go. It by any chance was it one of the show apps or one of the po apps that he drops after Mobeats?
Yeah, I think it's number 3.
Oh, we're gonna have to play that. I know I have all of them.
I think it's number 3.
We're gonna have to play that. Oh my God.
So I guess before you play it, we'll go back to I'm not a musician and I'm not a computer guy. I'm a farmer, and so I'm sitting there. Um, I'm well standing out there potting up plants. Getting plants from a small pot to a bigger pot, and I sing this song in my head, and I sang it in my head over and over for about 3 years, or not 3 years, about a year, and kind of, I guess, tried to perfect it in my head without writing anything down. So it's kind of a mantra, and then so I finally shared it with someone, and luckily Stoney said he liked it.
okay, this one is called Who. I don't think this one's it.
That's not it.
What was what was it called again?
It should be called 3 Gallon Pot.
3 gallon
Maybe
pot.
go to the top and go to the. Okay.
Scroll. Yeah, scroll. Or search bar.
I think it has a red background.
Alright, that's not gonna work. Oh, there are all my Stony po apps, show apps, wearables. I got it all here. Let's see. True show app, Stony show app. No, come on.
Well,
I don't think it got all my.
type in Mobeats. Type in Mobeats.
Yeah, Mobeats. Oops. There it is. Okay. 3 gallon pot. Found it. Oh, can't let it get started. 1 sec. Alright, let's mute this music.
Gallon Pot by Roots for Stony Studios. You gotta up-plant that 3 gallon pot, up-plant that 3 gallon pot. You gotta up-plant that 3 gallon pot, 3 gallon pot. When that good growth start boiling away in the sun and the rain, when the fruits come again, don't take away all the pain. Dig up them roots, give on the juice. Dig up them roots, give on the juice. Dig up them roots, give on the juice. Hands in the ground, get mud on my boots. Toiling away in the sun and the rain. When the fruits come again, don't take away all the pain. Oh, we. Up-plant that 3 gallon pot, up-plant that 3 gallon pot. You gotta up-plant that 3 gallon pot, 3 gallon pot. When that good growth start boiling away in the sun and the rain, when the fruits come again, don't take away all the pain. the ground, get mud on my boots, toiling away in the sun and the rain. When the fruits come again, take away all the pain. Oh, yo.
Yeah, thanks for playing that. It's funny that song. It's Wait, hold on a second. I'm getting a feedback here. I gotta stop something.
Sounds good.
Okay, there we go. Um, the hit you over the head theme of that song is gardening, basically. But I guess the more subtle theme is, in a bear market, we got to be working, building our brand, building stuff, creating stuff, and then when the bulls start happening, then we're already have this platform, and instead of fretting about it, we can just be enjoying it. And so that's kind of the basic underlying theme of the song. Uh, you put in the work, and then you can yield some good fruit in the future.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And everyone in the Twitch chat was just was enjoying the song. Kanessa even made a comment saying these memories will live on forever on the blockchain.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, that's wonderful. And then so with this song, it was fun for me to do. People enjoyed it. Stoney said he had a good time making it, and kind of lit a fire under me. And it's like, well, I'm not just gonna sing this song. I'm gonna start actually doing some things in Decentraland, because I've been a user of Decentraland and a supporter of artists and creators in Decentraland for a long time. I'm no whale, but I'm out there uh, buying wearables and
Hmm.
going to people's parties, and I decided, well, I better start doing stuff. So then I started working on my one by one a little more, and then I had the idea of a emote to do that was a kind of a community building emote. I did the kick line emote, which is the Rockettes kick line, where they stand in a line and kick their legs in the air. I had, yeah, I think I saw that one there.
There it is.
I had Clammy make it. He liked the idea. I think I was in the True Band room and I was like, "Hey, anybody out there make emotes? I want to make an emote, and if you're interested, let me know." And I wasn't expecting anyone to write back to me, but Clammy was like, "Hey, I can make an emote. So what do you want to do?" I was like, "I want to do the Rockettes kick line, and you have the hands behind the back of the person next to you, and so it only looks good if you're doing it with two or more people.
Oh my
Uh,
god, yes.
you do it by yourself, you look kind of silly, but I guess a lot of emotes make you look silly. But when you're doing it with 3, 4, 10 people, then it just looks really good, especially if you're all in sync. And even if you're not in sync, it's still kind of a fun community thing to do together.
Oh,
So
oh my god, I have so many clips of just like at True or wherever the hell, just like doing the the kick line, and people like
right.
just start joining and more people and more people, and then we have like a long line of people just kicking. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's fun for that, and because it was Clammy liked the idea, he decided to do it, and so Clammy made it for me, and then a couple of times we talked, and he was traveling all over the place. That guy, he was between like Singapore and
Hmm.
and Abu Dhabi or something. I don't know. He was all over the place.
That's so sick that managed to connect with someone and got it done. Uh,
Right. So while he was on airplanes and in airports, he's like, "Well, how do you like this?" Or "Send me a GIF of what you're thinking about." And he's like, "We're gonna try to do it this way." We tried to make him kick a little higher up because the true Rockettes kick is called the eye high kick,
yeah.
and so we tried to get it to kick higher up to reach his eyes, but it distorted the rest of the body, and so it just didn't work.
I see. And so then from there, shortly after, you had your what the heck? You had your Palaka shirt come out, correct?
Oaxaca, yeah. So I want to get, being from Hawaii, I want to get more Hawaiian culture out there. And this looks just like a farmer shirt or something, but this specific pattern
It looks so
is
good
called
in world.
palaka. And palaka is a super important fabric in Hawaii. It was before the Aloha shirt. There was the palaka shirt. This was worn by the agricultural workers in Hawaii. It was worn by the sugarcane workers, the pineapple pickers, the paniolos, which is a cowboy, and the dock workers. They all wore this shirt. Now everybody wears blaze orange or yellow and safety vests. But back then they wore this shirt. This is in the mid 1900s, about 1930 or so. This was just the shirt to wear in Hawaii. And now it's still a very popular shirt. It's worn casually. It's not really worn in the fields anymore. But there's now your dress shirt is this Palaka shirt, where it used to be just that the agricultural workers wearing it.
And I do see the texture. This that wearable was made very, very well, and this was a collaboration with you and Stony.
Yeah, yeah. I asked. I think I got a hold of Sultry Dubs first, and this is right before Fashion Week, and Sultry was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do this, but Stony's gonna have to do it because she's busy with doing other stuff." And so Stony took it on, and he had made some shirts, in this style before. So yeah, he made the shirt for me. Like I said, I'm a farmer. I don't know anything about computers, so I need people to do things for me.
Hey, you
And
take the inspiration. It's part of the creating aspect of it all.
right, yeah.
All right. I'm about to look
It's just
them.
my tribute to Hawaiian agriculture.
So with you saying that you wanted to bring more Hawaiian culture to Decentraland, would it be safe to say that we'll soon see some flower shirts?
No, that's not really my style. Probably not. No.
Well,
There's already a nice Aloha shirt with some flowers on it that I have um in my closet. What do you call it? My backpack. Um, and no, I'm not a big creator, and like I said, some people have to make these things for me, and that's not cheap either. So I'm not really gonna do too much more. Every once in a while, if I have an idea and some extra money, then I'll try to do something. But I
hmm.
wouldn't look for a line of things coming from me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you never know really when inspiration might strike. So, like, I know that you're gonna keep that like open mind to whenever something does come that's like super dope that hasn't been done before.
Yes, yes. Actually, I do have an idea for another emote, but I'm still weighing on whether I want to do it or not. But we'll see. But I do have a line of NFTs that's called the NFT Quarterline Project. Do you know about that?
Yes, I am a holder of one. Tell us
Oh,
more.
okay, great. So, so in my farming, I also make these ornamental plants, and or grow them, I should say. And I grow cacao, grow palm trees, other fruit trees, and then I grow these cordyline. Uh, in Hawaii, we call them tea, and that's a TI, and they're known for their just beautiful leaves. And if you plant seeds of this plant, it's not going to come true to what the mother is. There's wide variation. It could be anything. So all of these that you're showing on your screen right now, there's one. It's 4 in NFT number 4. The mother plant for all of these that you're looking at there is number 4.
Oh my God, number 4, like this is photography, right? You took this picture, correct?
Yeah, this is cell
It
phone photography. It's
dude,
nothing
it
special.
it
It's
looks like it's
probably not even in
painted.
focus.
It looks like it's painted. It's kind of really cool.
Yeah, it's a wonderful plant. And so this plant, when it seeds, we keep the seeds from this plant and grow them out. and it takes months and even years for the plant to show any personality, to know what it's going to look like. And then we select out ones that we think we've seen before that are fairly common, and then we keep ones that we think might be something interesting. Something interesting might be bigger than usual, smaller than usual, different colors, different arrangement of leaves. There's lots of different factors, and um, so what we do is we put out about 2,000 seeds, and maybe keep 20 of them from a year,
Hmm.
and then those 20 we put into the ground and grow them, and maybe 2 or 3 of those are worth propagating.
I see. I see.
That's my newest one. So this one is called Kathy, and this one was selected by my father. So that one right there, selected by my father in 2005. I took the picture and started at giving it some attributes, and so that's my newest one. And anyone that's listening, if you want this NFT, just find me on Twitter, uh, DCL Roots at DCL Roots, and give me a direct message with your long form Polygon address or Ethereum address, and I send these guys out for free.
Yes, I have
But
one.
it's just basically to create a reference for plants that either my dad and I are selecting, or that have inspired us uh, to select plants on our own.
I love how, like, you have the season for it. Like, holy crap, this is an old plant. Would it
Right.
actually, no, would it be considered, what are the
So,
lifespans?
in 2000, so this one says 2005. So in
Hmm.
2005, that Kawaii Beauty plant made some seeds, and we planted those seeds, and this plant came up out of it. And then
Okay.
since then, we were able to propagate this plant, tens, dozens, hundreds of times. Who knows how many times we've propagated this plant?
Okay.
I bet I have 100 of these plants, and um, because these plants are really the way they grow straight up on a stalk, and you can just cut the stalk and then you can regrow the plant. It'll root right through the stalk. So they're very easy to propagate, um, and and when you propagate them through cutting the stalks, you're making clones of that plant. So anyway, so this is a fun project that I'm working on, and it's to make reference that if someone down the line owns one of these plants, this is a reference of when they were created, who created them. It might have some background story about it. It'll have the exact dimensions of what the leaf should be. So there might be one that looks kind of like this, but it's not the same plant. It's it's different genetically, and it has a bigger leaf or a different color, or doesn't grow quite the same.
Mhm.
And and but you can see that there's such great differences in all these different varieties.
Oh yeah, totally. And so, all in all, what would be your end goal for this project?
My end goal for this project would be to continue to document the tea that my dad or myself select throughout the years. And there's lots of them that we've selected, but we don't know that it's going to be a really great plant maybe for 3 years from now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are
That's
there
one of my favorites there. That one is called Giichi Tagami.
this
And
one?
so the guy that inspired us to select tea, uh, his name was Hiroshi Tagami, and he was a pretty well-known artist. He painted watercolors and acrylics, and he did horticulture on the side. Well, he was our next door neighbor, and then he showed us this plant, and we're like, oh, this plant is great. He's like, oh, I selected it from seed. Oh, show us how you do that. And then he showed us, and he showed us that he used the Kawaii Beauty, that NFT number 4. He used that plant to be the mother plant, and took the seeds from that, planted those, waited for them to come up, and selected ones you liked. And so that one's called Giichi Tagami. It's named after his father, who died fairly young, and it was just a tribute to his dad. He selected that probably in 1972.
Wow.
Selected that.
That is a really cool story. So are there any more plants coming like in the pipeline? Like you had mentioned that you select a plant, but you don't really know if it's gonna be good until like 2
Right,
to 3 years from now.
right. So our newest one is on there. It's actually the first one that I put. It's the NFT number one.
Zero
And I
zero
have two
one
pictures
B.
of it. One of them is on grass, and one of them's on a slate table.
Okay.
And that was the first one I did, and that's actually our newest tea, and we call it Menehune Ekahi. Menehune because Menehune is like the leprechaun of Hawaii. It's probably a bad word for it, but it's very similar in stories. And so Menehune because has a small leaf, and Akahi is one in Hawaiian, and it's the first time that we did tissue culture. So with these plants, normally you have one plant, you let it grow for about 6 months, 8 months, and then you cut it in half, and then you have two plants.
Oh.
And then you let that grow for 6 months, and then you cut those two in half, and you have four plants. Let those grow for 6 months, you cut all those, and then you have eight plants. So um, it, you can keep making plants, but it's pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 months between generations. In tissue culture, you take the leaf, and you can separate the cells of the leaf. Well, I take it to a laboratory, and scientists that train all their lives do this, and they take the cells, and then they reproduce the cells, and make 1,000 of these at once, and then put it into like a homeostasis so that they don't grow at all, and they just live in these little petri dishes, and then when we want to say, hey, I want some more Menehune Ekahis, and then they give them to us, and then we plant them out, and then they grow once we take them out of the petri dish.
That's really sick.
Yeah. And so, but that way we can grow 1,000 clones at once.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice,
And so,
nice.
yeah,
That,
so if a nursery out there really wants this plant, then we can grow a bunch of them, and they all look the same. They're not just cuttings, because
mm,
cuttings can be crooked and weird, and I don't know if you know about taking clones or cuttings off of a plant, but
uh,
it just doesn't grow the same way as it does from a seed.
through the marijuana process, I may know of cloning. Uh, so I'm looking at the Twitch comments and I see Cheddar Queso speaking of marijuana. Hey, Cheddar is saying can't DM Roots. Your Twitter DMs are turned off.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, just make sure to get back to Cheddar. So how does one get involved with cacao bean farming?
Oh, okay. So, on my property, we never really used the property to as a nursery. We've used the property as we've got about a little over an acre in Hawaii, and it's wet side of the island, right near the mountains. Um, if we weren't here mowing every day, it would be a jungle, and uh, so we have a vast variety of plants. And then I decided I didn't want to work for anybody anymore, and I just wanted to be a farmer. And then I thought about some things I could grow, and cacao was one of them. We have a perfect location for it, and we already had about 7 cacao trees on the property, producing pods. And there's a guy down the street about a mile away from me that ferments pods, ferments the beans, and so I hooked up with him, and we traded plants, and I planted about 60 cacao trees on my property. And um, we harvest every 2 weeks and take them down to be fermented. And at this ferment, there's about 20 farms within about a 20-mile uh, linear 20-mile along the coast of Oahu that grow cacao and bring their pods to this farm. And everybody has an acre or less, and so each farm is maybe getting a bucket of beans or 2 buckets of beans, and we sell them to the fermenter, and he pays us quarterly, and it's up to him to ferment it right, and then to sell it to a chocolatier.
I see. And so right here, let's see, oop, wrong page. So with this link that you had sent me with the Manoa chocolate, is that what
Yeah,
it's?
so Manoa Chocolate is a really good chocolate company here in Hawaii, and we we ferment 3 of their chocolate bars: the Kahalu bar, the Ko'olapoko bar, and the Waimanalo bar. And the beans, the way that Hawaii's areas kind of work is that there's a large valley, and so our large valley is Ko'olapoko, our smaller valley is Kahalu, and then even smaller than that where I am is Ka'alaya. And so uh, the beans that are grown in Kahalu go into the Kahalu bar.
Mhm.
And if our ferment box for Kahalu spills over, or we have some uh, beans coming from places within Ko'olapoko, but not necessarily Kahalu, then they go into the Ko'olapoko bar. And then if we have beans from Waimanalo, then they go to the Waimanalo bar. And but my beans are either in Kahalu or Ko'olapoko. Yeah,
Okay.
they have a bunch of bars, and then they'll add macadamia nuts, lemon zest, pepper. Who knows what they do?
Okay. Oh, like, oh,
Craft beer or wine these days. Who knows what? There's all the crazy IPAs. Someone's gonna come out with a sage and papaya IPA, and they're kind of doing the same thing with chocolate. I
uh,
like it. I like it just plain chocolate and tasting it from the different locations.
I see. Yes, yeah. So okay, I'm like a total like fat boy and want chocolate. Which ones are your favorite here, so I can like place an order here?
Well, I'm totally biased. Kahalu is definitely my favorite. It is nice and creamy. Kahalu has a little bit more of a fruity taste. Poco has a real good dark chocolate and maybe some pit fruit, plum, and cherry taste. And the Waimanalo has a kind of more of a coconut taste. But these aren't added flavors. They're just flavors that kind of come out of the chocolate because of its location and its climate.
Th-
Um,
that
just be
was that
just
was
make
sorry.
yeah.
I was gonna ask that because okay, so for example, I am allergic to peanuts and bananas. So like it's not necessarily that they're adding peanuts and bananas to it, but it's just a flavoring from the cacao bean grown in that region.
Yeah, the ones that are regions, but I guess if you go scroll up or back to another page, there's going to be a bunch of ones that are different things added to them. So who knows what they did there?
Okay, so
There's a
as
pumpkin seed one.
okay, so as far as the ones that our boy Roots is involved with, these two, these are just like basically just the flavor, or not even added flavoring,
Yeah,
but just the
chocolate. It's just chocolate, sugar, and I don't know even know if they use lecithin.
oh
But
man.
yes, I don't think they put vanilla in it either. But it's just chocolate and sugar.
All right, my
Oh,
fellow
cacao.
fat people here. I'm dropping the link to
And they're expensive. Hey, I'm not expecting anybody to buy any of these bars. It's ridiculous. It's $12 for a bar. You can buy a Hershey's for $3 or less, but the quality is much different. And it's like drinking, grape juice out of a squeeze box. What do you call those things? And then or drinking, some fine wine. A 1997 Penfolds Sauvignon Blanc or something like that. It's
hmm So
like
so
like a fine wine. The work that goes into it is really shows in the flavor.
I like
Now,
that.
whether it's worth $12, I'm not sure, but it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
I mean, I'm down to experiment with this one. And so on the page I'm seeing that there's like pairings and you can pair it with tequila blanco or French Syrah. Uh
And full disclosure here, I'm the farmer. I don't have anything to do with the website.
oh,
The
you
website is Manoa Chocolate. I have nothing to do with the website. I don't get any money from it. They just use my beans to make this bar.
I see, I see. We're gonna have to dig deeper. Uh, call the CEO up. I have questions. What will make my why does my dark 70% dark chocolate pair very well with tequila blanco?
Oh yeah. Well, probably the creaminess. Yeah, it's it's pretty good.
So kind of you had mentioned kind of like the differences between chocolate bar prices. Um So, are there any differences between the cacao beans that are used for big brand chocolates opposed to the cacao
Yeah.
beans that you grow?
So Hawaii is the only state in the United States that grows cacao commercially, besides Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico does as well. Um, and if you get it pretty much anywhere else, um, you got to be sure, and it's hard as a consumer, but you should be sure that it's being grown and processed in some kind of sustainable manner, and not in like a. There's a lot of cacao grown in places that have a lot of turmoil and
Hmm.
you know, civil wars and things like that. So people are dying around chocolate area, and and so it's hard to find ethical chocolate out there. But there's a few places in South America definitely that have ethical chocolate, but the majority of it is being grown in places that are either chopping down the rainforest or causing uh, civil unrest.
I see. I see. I want.
So like Hershey's, they don't they're going to the cheapest
Mhm.
place they can to get their chocolate. They're not growing it in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
They're getting chocolate beans from probably somewhere in Africa, and people that get paid very little and are treated very poorly produce those beans for them.
Yep. So yeah, I figured that Hershey would be just going towards the lowest bidder and just, turning their heads and then making their commercials about how they are so awesome and ethical. It's kind of funny.
So by buying Hawaiian chocolate, you know that the farmer was doing it because they wanted to, and the farmer already got paid.
Nice, let's go. I really think you should hit up the Manoa website people and be like, "Hey, are there any referral links that I could start giving out to people? Cause come
I
on,
know
dude,
I
you're in the metaverse. You
talked to him, and I was like, yeah, I need some kind of link that would tell them how many times people are clicking on it from the metaverse.
yeah,
And
totally.
I showed it to them, but they're deep in chocolate, and they're not they don't understand the metaverse.
It's
There's a lot of people out there that just don't. You say metaverse, and it just goes over their head.
it, it will get there. It will get there. Perhaps maybe like once like the nephew starts like coming into the company, bringing in the fresh ideas. You can say metaverse, and they'll be like, "I'm in. Let's go."
Right, right. So I don't know if I'm the first. I'm not really into being first or anything like that, but I might be the first cacao orchard in Decentraland. I have a 1x1 on at 133.36, and
133.36.
again, I'm not a designer, graphics artist, and so my friend Judas stepped in and did 99% of this build.
Oh, I
He
remember
gave
this.
he gave me assets. He gave me assets, and then I put them into my asset packs, and then I built it through the builder.
Oh, that was very nice of him. I remember this build. You were I think you had popped into CBD because you had like a issue where like you could come to the parcel, you can see it, and then you like walk away from
And
the
it would
parcel,
disappear.
yeah, and then you come back and it be gone. Did you
Yeah, I
fix
don't know if
that?
that's happening or not. I haven't tested that in a while, but
Here, let's be your live audience testers here. Oh
okay.
shit,
So
my
what you'd
ears
have
are
to do
stuck.
is run out of there and go about 3 or 4 parcels away and turn around and come back and then see if just
All
or
right,
just see what's there.
Cheddar's here. Oh wait. Oh no, it's still happening. No.
Is it?
Well, I mean, if anyone watching
Uh,
knows what's going on here, let us
yeah,
know. Then
still happening. So now go away again. Go 2 or 3 parcels away again, and come back, and it should be there again.
Oh, it's back. Let's go.
So yeah, if anybody knows what's going on there, I'd like to know.
And what are actually question number one, how long ago did you purchase this parcel?
Oh yeah, that would have been probably March of 2001.
Wait, 2001?
2021,
Oh,
sorry.
I'm like, wait a second.
2021.
Oh, okay, okay, nice. And so, then, how how long ago did you start deploying stuff to your build or to your
Oh, I
land?
was doing stuff right away, but it was all just real stupid drag and drop things, houses and galleries and just a lot of square things.
Mm-hmm.
I was always over my triangle limit and I couldn't build anymore. But I was always deploying one thing or another. Actually, one of the first things I deployed was a movie theater, and I was actually purchasing server time to show movies there,
Nice.
and but then Decentraland didn't want to advertise them because they didn't know about the copyrights. And
Mm.
so I was picking the old obscure movies, and I would steal them off of YouTube, and then download them onto the OBS or something, and then have them play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they didn't like that I was using, even though there are movies no one's ever heard before. They didn't like I was using material that wasn't mine and putting it in the advertisement.
Yeah,
They
I
they wouldn't
fig
let me advertise it.
I figured it'd kind of be like that. Usually when I run like a little movie night or like a little hangout session at my land where I'll just like throw some anime in there, I'll just be I'll just do it on the hush hush. I'll, throw it up on Twitter or something, and then eventually people start to like, crowd in. I don't stream them anywhere, just straight to Decentraland. Gotta keep gotta keep those the copyright bros off of me.
Right. So, anyways, they squashed my dreams there. I had the name Mondo Movies,
Oh.
and I wanted to show cult movies, once a day or something like that. And but they kind of squashed my dreams. So I sold Mondo Movies. I don't know who has it now.
Oh wow, you actually like the name sold. Let's go.
Yeah, the name sold. I don't know when, but someone bought it.
Yeah. Hmm. So I mean I have enjoyed kind of like learning a little bit about cacao farming from you today. Especially on the ethical and non-ethical chocolate side of things. Definitely gonna start thinking twice before I purchase chocolate. Now.
Yeah, read about it first, and check it out.
So in a way, like I feel like in a way, like maybe someone listening, maybe you're even yourself, um Roots like may even know someone that like may want to begin kind of like a project based on that, on like kind of helping towards stopping, kids being used for cacao farming.
Right. Or get the kids out there. I don't know. It's fun. I mean, as long as they're your kids.
As long as they're your kid. Yeah, you know, that although they don't want to be there, they are learning.
Right.
Oh man, but yeah, most definitely like that there's an opportunity even in that for like, an NFT project arising to kind of focus on awareness for all this. Um, so let's see. I believe.
There's so many different varieties of cacao too. I'd love to do another NFT project where I was taking pictures of the pods and saying where the pods came from. Because
Yeah.
there's definitely different pods in Bolivia than there is, in other parts of the world.
Yes, you actually just now reminded me of like a question I had earlier that I never like wrote down. Like the cacao pods, the actual seeds, they do differ. Like they have different looks depending on the region that they're grown in. Is that correct?
Well, I guess years and years ago, yes, but everything is a hybrid now.
I
So
see.
there's very few pure strains. Almost everything is a hybrid of Criollo or Nacional or Trinitario,
Okay, I
and
see.
they can look and they can look very very different from each other. But the unless you have a large farm that you've been procuring the same breed and planting that at your farm, getting a single batch would be really difficult, to just do a single variety of chocolate.
Hmm,
So what we do is try to just get as much variety out there as possible, and for two reasons, because you never know what your seed is going to be. Um, and so you grow that seed, and it could be the best chocolate ever. It could be juicier than ever. It could be bigger than ever. It could have a different flavor. So you just grow them out, and you get combinations of pods on your trees, and you just never really know what they're going to be.
I see.
And with enough variation, it kind of blends it all together. So that's one thing with flavor. I think it helps with. Another is that oh no, what was I going with there? I'm not sure what I'm going with, but anyways, it's just a good reason to have a lot of different varieties. Oh, if there is a disease or something, if there's a pest that goes after a single variety, then you have all the other varieties that can,
Hmm.
take the weight of that one variety going down before you can replant it.
Okay. Let's see. Question from the audience. How long does it take for a cacao seed to grow?
So from seed till you're getting cacao pods, probably about 4 years. And then those you're going to get very few pods your fourth and fifth year, and then your sixth year you should be able to get some nice pods,
In-
and and more than once a year.
Interesting. And
Yeah, so it takes about 6 years to start realizing. And if you're doing anything less than an acre of cacao trees, for one thing, you won't be able to sell much until 6 years. And for a second thing, you're never going to make that much money. You might make enough money to buy your fertilizer. So, as farmers, we're guaranteed to get paid, but we don't get paid that much. We're still, I guess, considered gentlemen farmers, where we're doing it because it's kind of fun to do.
mm-hmm. And how long does the cacao tree live?
Oh, you should get 10 good years out of it at least, but I've got a cacao tree in my yard that's 75 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Are
been
the
there a long
yields
time.
are the yields crazy on that one or just about
Well, I
like
just gave it
average?
a big prune, and so new stuff is growing out of it. So we'll see how it goes, but it should have a really good root stock, and once it starts producing pods, it should be pretty good again. Yeah.
Uh, that's that is really cool. So, are there like years where the yield may be higher than others? Like this is just a question that derives for me, for example, like here in Florida, whenever there's a Caribbean saying like the year when you have a lot of mangoes, those are the years of the big blow, meaning hurricane coming.
Oh,
So like if you're just overloaded with mangoes because like your mango tree just won't stop dropping them, there might there's super superstitiously there's gonna be a hurricane coming through. Uh,
yeah, I haven't heard anything that specific, but there's something it's a lot more. It's it. it's a lot more immediate. But if you have a south wind that sustains for like a couple of weeks, you're getting a south wind instead of your normal east wind.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your pods start ripening really quick, and I don't know why, but it does.
Hmm.
And maybe it's a warmer wind. I don't know. So a south wind makes them ripen quicker, which also gives you smaller pods because they start to ripen before they're bigger.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of stress it puts on the tree, but it does something to just make them start ripening.
Do they like get? Are they also like sweeter as well? Does it change the like the flavor
That's
profile?
That's one of the theories. And so where we are in Hawaii is actually about 21 degrees. And the ideal location for cacao is it's something like 15 degrees to 18 degrees. And so Hawaii is actually outside the area where cacao is supposed to be best.
Mm-hmm.
But the theory is that because we're outside it, we don't get as big of a yield, but we get better flavor beans
I
um,
see.
because of the stress the plant goes through. And it's not like it's just a different stress than they're getting at 16 degrees latitude.
Mm-hmm. That is so interesting. I knew you were the man to ask all these tough questions to.
So that's another reason to get Hawaii chocolate because it tastes better because it's more stressed out.
Let's go. Hawaii stressing the cacao
And
beans every
you
step
said
of the way.
you said you grew cannabis, and isn't it the same um, for weed? If you stress it out a little bit or bend it or something, and then all of a sudden more your vasculars are going uh, are getting bigger and giving you more juice.
Well, yes, exactly. But for me, for my cannabis endeavors, those were just small projects of me seeing what would happen if I grow this and smoke it. uh, but
Okay.
we I don't know if you ever have connected with Cheddar Queso before. She grows cannabis like at like the big boy level
Mm-hmm.
legally.
Nice.
But yes, it does tie into like the same concept. Alrighty. I guess
And then
oh,
like wine, there's Napa Valley, of course, and there's the different valleys around the world that are known for their wine, and it's because of their soils. And you can have a Cabernet grape. It's the same grape that they grew over there in Spain, and
mhm.
then they brought it over to California, and it tastes different.
Mhm. Yep.
And it's the same thing with cacao too. We just have really good soils here, really good climate, and grow some good trees.
Yeah. Yeah, does climate play a factor in that? Like let's say you're growing a cacao seed in a more rainier area opposed to a drier area. Does that also affect the flavor profile?
Well, I'm sure it affects the flavor profile. You don't want dry beans, but it also um, is good for your bottom line because, like where I am, we don't water. We don't. There's no irrigation.
Mhm.
There's no sprinklers. There's no there's no canal. We're not watering our trees at all. And
Nice.
so because we're not watering them, we're not spending time watering them, and we're not paying for water, and and other places that are drier, more exposed, get more wind. Their trees are falling down, and they're watering every day, and it affects their bottom line.
I see. Okay, so I guess my last question around the cacao, your cacao farming would be, are there any cacao farming secrets that you can share with us tonight? Like we're looking for the cacao growing alpha.
The cacao secret. Well, the best secret is to find out who has good trees and get a cutting off of that tree and graft it onto your rootstock. So what you want to do, get any cacao seed you can. If you're in a cacao growing area, Just get any cacao seed you can, put it in the ground, let it start growing for a couple of years, and then once it's 2 or 3 years old, maybe just 2 years old, you can cut a piece of it off, and then get a rootstock or get a graft from someone else around you that you know grows good cacao, and put their graft onto your rootstock, and then you know you're starting with good stuff.
Nice, nice. Well, I mean that is thank you for the alpha, because you know, I'm sure there's people that don't really even like know where to begin, so they'll just begin with any seed or any cutting.
But that's what you do, begin with anything at first, but knowing that that's not the tree that you're going to harvest. You're using it for its roots, and once its roots are nice and good, then you graft something onto it, and then you know your fruits are going to be good too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you for the alpha. Let's see. I only have a couple more questions for you tonight. Um, Question one, anything that we should be looking out for, like in the near future, coming from Roots DCL or Garden and Gully?
Oh, no, I don't have anything planned, but one thing we didn't talk about here, if you look towards the wall, there's a tree with one flower on it, and then there's some writing on the wall over there. Not that one. A little bit, yeah, there. That and so either Judas is gonna do it, or we may try to find someone else too. But whoever can do this, we want to be able to pick that flower that's on that tree and have it start raining in here, and then the river starts rising, and then who knows what's gonna happen.
Yes, please. Anytime I see rain on Decentraland, I'm just like, oh my god. Yeah, so like,
So anyone that's good at animation, user triggered animation, uh, we need some beta.
yes, we need your knowledge. Hit up Roots DCL on Twitter. That is a fun idea and awesome, like addition to your build. I wonder it'd be cool, like, to like kind of like sit underwater as everything begins to kind of like the
Yeah,
water levels
right,
start to rise.
right. I don't know if is there still a link underneath that?
Let's see. Yep. Let's see. Press E. Oh, it doesn't seem to be working right now. Perhaps maybe like if we refresh, it'll work.
Yeah, no, it's probably something I'd never finalized.
Mm.
None of them are working.
No, well, at least the two that I clicked on did not.
Interesting.
Oh, look, we have a little circle here at you on your build. Rustan came to join us as well.
Nice. Welcome to the gully.
Welcome to the
No
gully.
mosquitoes in that gully. You come to my real gully, and you got mosquitoes.
Got
So yeah, I built this to be an artist rendering of the property that I have in Hawaii. So I have a flat area where the house is, and some garden and some fruit trees, and then there's this gully ravine that goes down about 50 feet or so, 50 feet down and 50 feet wide, and then that's where most of our cacao trees are, and a lot of other really great plants.
Oh, that's really cool.
And so, I didn't have enough land to put them side by side like it is in real life, so I just decided to put it one on top of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Put the garden on top of the gully instead of next to the gully.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, very, very good idea, and in all honesty, it's a pretty comfortable build. I personally liked it. Let's see, my second time here.
So I kind of had a vague idea of what this kind of looked like, and then I went to New York City, and there's a memorial for the Irish famine memorial,
Mm-hmm.
and it's on Manhattan. Oh, I'm not thinking of exactly where it is, but anyways, I came up to it, and there was this thing, and it was this hill that went up, and then you could go into it, and you could come down and do this trail down this hill, and I thought it was really neat, and I was like, that's exactly what I want my one by one to be, and then I sat on that for a year and a half, and then I asked Judas, and he's like, oh, I'll make this for you. I'm like, all right, sweet.
Let's go. I'm so happy that, there are individuals out there that will just, take the time to help. Big shout out
Yeah,
to
that's
Judas.
really great about Decentraland, and a lot of people ask me, oh, if I ever mention Decentraland in public, I'm like, why are you? What brings you to Decentraland? Why are you there? And and I say it's one of the most accepting and helpful communities I've ever been a part of, where everybody's real supportive. You can make something really stupid, and people think it's great,
Mm-hmm.
and and I think that's great. It's like improv, the yes and, where someone starts saying their scenario that's happening, and then you just kind of build off of that. And not too many people are going, "That's a dumb idea."
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, everyone's very supportive and open to anyone's creations here. And even with them being supportive, they're also like here to help you grow. Like if you kind of like said, "Okay, no bullshit. Tell me what's wrong with this." Like
Hmm.
there are people out there that will just break it down. Oh man. Uh I've personally been one of those people before. I felt bad after. I I almost I almost hope I didn't leave them in tears. I've been asked to do it again soon, so I hope no friendships are
I'm not looking
ruined.
for your opinion, so.
Thank God. No, 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 no. Like I'm not.
No, really, I
We
don't care what anyone thinks,
we
Whether anyone buys any one of my emotes, if anyone buys my emote, or if anyone buys my shirt, or if anyone buys my chocolate bar, I don't care. But if a couple people walk through this, stumble across it, and say, "What is this thing?" and spend 2 minutes in here looking around, even though it's just a little one by one, um, kind of gets you out of the scene. It's its own little, e- uh, it's got its own little atmosphere here. Where
Yep. It's
you're
its
kind of shut
own.
off from the rest of the world.
Yep. Exactly. It's its own environment. So I guess last question before we close out here. Any would you like to say any words for any listeners over at the Dollhouse, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube? Any final thoughts? Wanna or
Oh, I
shout
guess
outs?
just keep doing it. You guys are creating, and you guys aren't not only creating wearables and architecture and music. You're creating things to do. You're creating fun, creating friendships. So all this creation is just really great. And I've been telling other people that are artists and not in Decentraland yet that Decentraland is not only just a really nice, welcoming place, but art and creation is king here. And it doesn't matter what you're making. If you're making something, there's somebody out there that's gonna like it,
Mm-hmm.
and um, and just keep doing it. Yeah,
Thank you.
get out there and make something,
Get you heard the man. Get out there and make some.
and then share it with me.
All right. Oh, well, I accidentally kicked myself out of your land because like when I accidentally hit Control W and it just like closed my entire
Oh,
tab.
I hate that. It's too close.
I know. So yeah, that happened. Well, I mean, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you had some fun, hanging out with me here. Um, and I'm really looking forward to like, just anything that you may create, whether if it's spontaneous, because I do remember that you mentioned like you're not actively looking to like release a line, but if there's any inspiration out there that just pops up, like, you will be there to accommodate.
Well, if I do, it'll be something on brand for me. It's gonna be either Hawaiian or agriculture related. I guess the thing that wasn't on brand for me was the kick line, but
Create whether if
but
it's
what people don't know
spontaneous or they
is
did.
that my cousin was a Mouseketeer and he married a Rockette, and so I've got Rockette in my family.
Let's go.
So I've got the okay to make that emote.
You got the okay to represent. I love it. Well, let's see. Thank you, Garden and Gully, aka Roots. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I'm just gonna, move over here and do some final shout outs before we close
Oh,
out.
and I
Go
guess
ahead.
one more thing. Since some people said they couldn't get through on my messages with Twitter, they could also message me right here in Discord, and I'm Garden and Gully number 1484. Right?
Thank you. Let's see. Oh wait, I can't share. A Garden and Gully. I don't see any numbers. But yeah, a good way to maybe even message him if you didn't catch the numbers would be to go to the CBD Discord, look up his name, find his name, and then you could always message him that way, I believe.
Yeah, I think I can put it in there. Oh no, that's not it.
Here.
Anyways, yeah, find me on Discord, Garden and Gully.
Alrighty. Well, thank you here.
Or send me your long form Ethereum address, and then I'm giving out the Kathy right now. It's NFT number 6,
Ooh.
NFTI number 006.
Let's go here. Which is this one? Kathy. I like Kathy. Very beautiful plant. So yeah, I just want to give a few final shout outs. Thank you everyone here at the Dollhouse that has been here this entire time enjoying the show. I love all the mews that I'm seeing. I saw so many people bust out their mews tonight. Some people that I don't usually see with the mews. I see you out there, and I really appreciate it. Much love to our sponsors up at the top, Songbird Collective, Voxboards, Meta One Designs, Dr. Drip, and of course, our hosts for tonight's show, the DCL Baby Dolls here at the Dollhouse. Much love to everyone. We will be back for Beyond the NFT next Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Keep an eye out for, of course, our community building Decentraland Twitter Spaces on Wednesday. I believe Canessa might be hosting this week. And also Music Matrix on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week, Shelly Van will be hosting, and I think we're gonna do another attempt at getting Data Youth on the show. So that should be exciting. Thank you everyone for your time tonight, and yeah, act natural. We will be back. Let's see who do we raid? Or actually, I'm gonna bring Roots back since I switched to the screen. Roots, what is the doggo's name?
Oh, that's Zephyr. Zephyr. Zephyr.
Oh my God, is he your helper? Does he help you?
He's Zephyr the garden dog. Yeah.
He looks so.
I have a side business. Where people drop their dogs off with me, but Zephyr's my dog. He's, as you can tell, he's a little excited about all that cacao.
Yes, he looks so accomplished and like
Pointing right at you if you look closely.
Yep.
Don't look that close.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yes, he's a bit excited due to all the cacao. Thank you so much, Garden and Gully. And I will be raiding out to the next streamer, so everyone just stand by, and yeah, we'll get some tunes on. I'll have to see if DJ Tank Poco is gonna take over, or if I should just let Wekasui take over the Dollhouse. We'll see. We'll see. Thank you, everyone. Alright, looks like we're not gonna go with Weka. She's playing video games. Maybe 45 adapter, actually.